Nice stop right there. That was very aggressive, and it was for this car that's parking right in front of us. Definitely felt like that was good. I'm going to stop right here because the car is creeping forward to make the left-hand turn. And we are stopping for this pedestrian. That was all car doing that. We did not have a stop sign that I could see there. Welcome everybody. We're going to do a drive today from the Oakwood Mall here in Eau Claire to the Pablo Center, which is in downtown Eau Claire. So I'm going to start us off right away in the parking lot here at the mall. Just like to see how the car gets us out of a parking lot onto the first street for navigation. And so right away we've got just a very small intersection here. Car is doing a great job navigating through this unusual situation. A little bit of uncertainty here, and we're coming up on the first stop sign. And we'll be entering just a very short segment of the road, making a left-hand turn and then a right turn to get onto the main road. So once we get started here, I expect the car will do pretty well. So the car actually should be in the right lane to make this turn. We're going to see how it does. And it's not really knowing exactly what to do, but even though it was in the wrong lane for the turn, it did correct for navigation, did make the turn as desired. So I thought that was a pretty good job. It's an unusual situation, not something I typically do with full self-driving beta enabled, but it did pretty well navigating through that, finding a course. Now we're at a stop sign and intersection. We do have some traffic coming in from the left. We do have a creep limit right here on the screen. No traffic coming in from the left, and we're making the turn. So also very nice job. So the reason I wanted to do that was just to give the car a little bit of an unusual scenario to see how the artificial intelligence or AI built into full self-driving would see a route out of that situation. So in front of us I do have a car making a left turn. No issue for us. I did not experience any slowdown, so the car did know that it was safe for the speed to maintain at 37, which is a set speed that I've indicated the car to drive. So our next turn on the route is going to be about a mile up here. It'll be a right turn onto 93. We'll make a little bit of a transition from 93 to Business 53. So it'll be like a freeway entrance ramp coming into the freeway. I've done this before in early versions of the full self-driving package. One thing and here we do have some traffic in. That time I did feel the car slow down, and that was also very appropriate. As a driver, I don't see those cars turning all the time until I begin through the corner, because the A-pillar in the car will block or obscure some of that. So I do feel like the driving characteristics of the car anticipate oftentimes what I may not see until the very last second. I feel that's a very safe situation for full self-driving versus a human driver who may make an error in that situation. So back to what I was saying, I do like that this route will take us through a variety of drive conditions, including, as you can see, the sun's a little lower in the sky, and so including some partially blinded drives where the sun is right into the camera. So we'll come up here on an intersection. This will take us first onto Highway 93, and then we'll make an immediate entrance into Business 53 before we enter the downtown area. Car does pick the appropriate lane for the turn. And this is an unusual situation. So if we look here in the visualization, we've got a red light on this right turn, so we're going to need to make a stop. And the car does stop. It's looking for traffic coming in from the left, doesn't see anything, although it's not proceeding. So I'm going to give it a little accelerator, let it know it's okay to go there. And with that little bit of input, the car does continue on the route, and it does a fine job with that. As a human driver, I would have stopped, assessed, and then made the turn. I'm not sure why full self-driving didn't make that turn, or didn't commit to it fully. It did indicate the turn signal, and it was safe for us to proceed. The reason I gave it a little bit of nudge with the accelerator is because I did have cars stacking up behind me waiting to make the right turn as well. So here we are on the freeway entrance ramp. Everything is going pretty smoothly so far in this part of the drive. The interesting thing is, early on when I received full self-driving, so I've actually had the software for just about a year now, and the first version I took was in October, I believe it was October 24th. It was version 10.3, which was quickly upgraded to 10.3.1. And the improvements that I've noticed since then are incredible in terms of like navigation, route control, the visualization improvements that we see here on the screen. Overall, from 10.3.1 to the current version 10.69.2.3, I feel like a lot of improvements have occurred, and I do feel like the car does a very good job managing. There are some other features that have been built in, like turning left on yellow arrows that weren't present in the initial releases that I received, full self-driving beta. Also, lane navigation was a huge issue for many of the versions in the last year, as the car would be in the wrong lane, or it would be in a turn lane, and then it would attempt to correct itself too late for the route, and I would have to take over. So I would say a lot of interventions previously in versions of full self-driving that are no longer present, which definitely shows a steady increase of the software. Very smooth deceleration here to the red light, to our stop behind this car. And as we can see on the screen, we've got excellent visualizations all around us. On the screen, we also see the green lights, and then we should see the yellow arrow flash. There it is. So it's even detecting that level of detail. So we do want to be in the left lane to continue on our route. No, correction, we're going to stay in this lane and proceed up, take a left here in about a mile or so. Very good time of day to drive, with the sun being lower in the sky and a lot of traffic here at the end of the workday going home. So the car does have a lot to navigate around, a lot of different factors to take into account during the drive. And again, we've got a change of light here, red light. Car is slowing down. It's going to be first in this intersection, so we'll see where it stops. And that's perfect. So it stopped right before the pedestrian hold short line. Did not creep into the pedestrian crosswalk, as we do see with the vehicle on the left of us. Green light, and we're going to proceed through. So we've got two more stoplights on this route. Coming up here, an intersection with the stoplight. We're going to go straight through that, and then at the next one we'll be taking a left onto Main Street. That will take us through some residential streets into the downtown area to our destination on the first leg of the trip. So for this portion of the route, you do see that we're going to make a left-hand turn up here. So I'm going to extend the visualization so we can see the full picture. And if we want to zoom out, we can actually see all of the cars and the traffic around us that the car is detecting. We do see the left yellow or left green arrow on the screen depicted, and we do have red lights right now, so our car is appropriately holding short. It's not tempted to go forward with that green arrow. Now that we've got a green light, it's safe for us to proceed through the intersection. Our car is doing a great job maneuvering. I'm just going to increase the speed here a little bit to 40 for flow of traffic. And this will be our left turn up here. So we're going to get into the left turn lane. Did not see a turn signal on the screen for that lane change, but that's all right. There's a turn signal there indicating that we intend to make this left-hand turn. So we've got a little bit of an unusual situation here at the turn. If we do have a yellow arrow, which I don't think we'll get, but if we do have a yellow arrow, it'll have to see that there are 3 other lanes plus the turn lane. There we've got a green arrow, so safe to proceed. Car turning right at this intersection, so our car did proceed through that intersection pretty boldly, and then saw that there's traffic in the intersection, and it did hesitate or slow down just for that. We are on that residential portion of the drive, residential streets. And the car did reset the speed. So back there I'd set it to 40 miles an hour because we did see a 30-mile-an-hour speed limit sign. It did change the set speed to 32. I've set it to default to 2 miles per hour over the speed limit, just for flow of traffic. And so you can see that it does those resets periodically throughout the drive. Nice job in the corners here with the sun shining on us, partially blinding the cameras. And I do want to note that yesterday I did take the car through the car wash, so I do try to keep the cameras as clean as I can for safety and navigation. That is one thing that you'll need to do if you are driving full self-driving with Teslas, because it is a visual-based system, is make sure that the cameras have good visibility. So I do keep the cameras clean. I wash the car often. If you notice some difficulty with driving, errors occurring as I have in the past, one thing that is a quick, easy fix is first clean the car, clean the cameras off, and second, recalibrate the cameras. There's a sequence to do that on the screen, and then after about 30 miles of driving with camera calibration occurring, the car should perform as intended. So very nice entry into the downtown area. We're going to make a right-hand turn up at the stop light. Car does navigate appropriately into the right turn lane. I thought the car did a great job at that last right turn. I was very nervous, just ready right on the wheel to make sure that in case it wanted to overshoot the turn or make it wide, that I would prevent it from turning into the vehicle that was stopped at the intersection. So we are crossing a couple lanes here to make this left-hand turn. Didn't fully get into the left turn lane, but it did make the turn successfully. Coming up to a four-way stop with the sun shining right into us. See autopilot paused, waiting for our turn. Car is indicated as blue. We see the pedestrian right there. Again, great visualization. And here we are at the Pablo Center, which is our destination. So now we're doing what's called free driving. All right, so now a little trick that I did was to recalculate the route if I have a work or home location. And we are stopping for this pedestrian. That was all car doing that. We did not have a stop sign that I could see there. No stop sign at the intersection. So it did see the pedestrian at the crosswalk with the intent to cross, and the car stopped completely for her. I was very ready to take over to stop because she knew that we were going to let her through. But I didn't want the car to surge forward out of any confusion at that point. Nice stop right there. That was very aggressive, and it was for this car that's parking right in front of us. So I'm going to let the sequence go through with the car, see what happens. We're not trying to get around the car. We're just waiting for this car to go. Excellent job. All right, so absolutely zero intervention with that. I thought our car anticipated what the other driver is going to do, that was parallel parking, and it proceeded very safely to let that car park and to maneuver around it. It did move forward just a little bit to try to get around the car prematurely, not knowing that they weren't finished parking yet. But as the car continued to move, we just nudged over a little bit and then proceeded directly around them. So I was saying before, that stop back there was, there's a really nice feature. If you want to navigate somewhere and you have it set up as a default, you just drag down and say, I want to go home or I want to go to work. If those are my two default locations, the car will automatically navigate to those based on that pull down right there. Got another pedestrian a little ways up here for the crosswalk. They're out, and then I've got a street sweeper, and we maneuvered around that very well. So back to what I was saying earlier, the car does a great job in terms of, it has done a great job in terms of the improvements and what it's seeing in the different scenarios and how it navigates through that. 1 year ago when I took full self-driving beta, took the upgrade, I definitely would not have let it go through a lot of the situations that it just went through right there. So definitely felt like that was good. I'm going to stop right here because the car is creeping forward to make the left-hand turn, and those guys are turning left in front of us. All right, here we are coming into the final turn of the drive. So this is one area that I've struggled with historically. The car will make a right-hand turn onto Gulf Road, and then it needs to make one lane change to the left to the center lane to continue on our route. I've posted this in previous drives. I've seen it fixed in the last version of full self-driving. I've not tested it yet with this new version of FSD Beta. Version 10.69.2.3, so we're going to see how it does. Not expecting any issues. The car is slowing down very nicely to make the right-hand turn. So the first challenge for the car will be, will it make the right turn on a red light without intervention? And we do see it creeping up to the intersection. Got traffic coming in from the side, and I don't feel any attempt for the car to go, so I'm just nudging the accelerator. Now we should be in the left lane, the middle lane, sorry, one left lane change. There we go. Now we finished that prior to the series of stoplights here. One complaint that I've seen from other drivers in previous versions of full self-driving is that the car in double stoplight situations will get through the first stoplight and then have some phantom braking before it gets to the second stoplight. That last series of stoplights, I did not experience that. I have experienced that same issue in the past with mine, but the car drove through those two stoplights without any hesitation. All right, so one little bonus turn here. This is going to be a green light with unprotected oncoming traffic. So we're not going to get the green turn arrow as we would have if we arrived at this intersection just a little sooner. And the car is going to have to creep forward and then make the turn when it's safe to do so for oncoming traffic. So got the green light, heard the chime, car is creeping forward. And it's being very slow here. Okay, and at that point it detected that it was safe to proceed through the intersection. The little squawk that you heard was it wanting my finger or hand on the wheel to provide some resistance during the turn. But otherwise, everything in that turn went very well. All right, so that's going to end it for our drive right there. Just want to take you out for a quick drive. I want to thank you guys for watching, and we'll catch you on the next one.